Hey, how you doing, King? Long time no see. Oh Lord, Anthony, I was in your live the other night. Uh, when you were basically, basically you was venting, letting everything out. That was a good conversation, King, and I think we need to have more of those. For real. Me personally, I'm not ashamed to speak on my experience when it comes to something like that. Um, Moving so far away from home so young, I experienced food insecurity. You know what I'm saying? I had moved really far away from my family to another state. I didn't know anybody. I was completely on my own. Um, and while I was there at school, my family, my mother herself, she was of limited income and she didn't have a lot of money really to help me out. So, and it took me a while before I found a job. So literally, when I came and moved to Texas, I had to basically ration the money that I had left for food because, even though they had dorms, and at the time I lived in a dorm, and the dorm provides you 3 meals, your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. I had a full class load at the time. So, you know, my earliest class, I think, was like 6 o'clock or something in the morning. So by the time I got out that class, the cafeteria was closed down. They weren't serving again till lunch. So a lot of the times I missed those meals. Um, and I was living off of oodles and noodles and what I'm saying, hot dogs and things of that nature, for a long time. Um, like when I basically divorced and I walked away from everything. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have anything, just me and my children. That's all I had. I experienced the food insecurity again because it was days where, uh, it was only enough for to feed my kids. And I went to work hungry and I came, you know what I'm saying? And I just made sure it was enough for my children to eat. I didn't worry about me. I ate whenever I could. And I'm not ashamed to say it, or ate, if they didn't finish all their food, I ate that leftover food. So it's like I've been there and I know how that feels. You know, Me personally, would I go rob somebody to do that? No, I wouldn't. I'd sell the shoes on my feet. You know what I'm saying? I'd sell, my phone, electronics, whatever I had to make sure that, I had enough to, eat or do whatever I can, uh, to make those meals or to have what I needed. But I also been a witness to people that when I say they was raised basically by the gun in the streets, that's the only way they know because that gun is the only thing that's getting them shoes, the only thing that's getting them clothes, the only thing that's getting them food, the only thing that's getting them any and everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they were taught, and that's how they were raised to be, or that's the environment they grew up in. So that's like the only thing that, you know, be it as me and you, we probably hell, we would have sold that gun and got us some food. You know what I'm saying? We would have sold that gun and did what we need to do with it. So, some people with the way they were raised and how and what they were taught and how they were taught to live, like that gun is access. It's a means to get what they need. It's not the right way, but it's the only way that they know how. And it's sad to know that two people lost their lives and it was senseless. But it's just crazy. I mean, and that just begs to differ or makes you really think on a deeper level. Yes, there are food banks. Yes, there are, churches and stuff you can go to try to get food. But me, it's been times where I'm showing, I did need the help, and I would go and I would apply for those services, and I would get turned away, because they would say I made too much. You know what I'm saying? And I'm showing her, hey, this is where my money's going. I'm not out here playing around. I'm not out here throwing my money off for anything and everything. I'm actually doing the things I'm supposed to do with my money. I'm not making enough, you know. Um, and a lot of times when you try to seek help and then you get turned away, into paying your taxes and you doing everything that you're supposed to do, a lot of people, like me, for instance, my solution was to go out there and work another job. I would get 2 or 3 jobs just to make sure that I was tired. The only time I saw my kids was, basically when they was in school, I was at work. Then when they come home, I would be home for that stretch of time when they're home. And then literally when they fall asleep, I was back at work again. I was working an overnight gig. And then when they woke up in the morning, I was right there, fixing breakfast, putting them on the bus, sending them off to school, getting a few hours of sleep, going right back to job number one. You know, I am. Thank you, Sissy. So it's just like I know the struggle with that, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I've experienced food insecurity, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I have sold, items and did whatever I had to do when I didn't have enough. I'm not ashamed of that because I think more people need to be transparent, especially when you're a single parent, especially when you're on your own and you're not getting public assistance or you're not getting child support or you tried to go these different avenues and agencies to get help and they're telling you, hey, you're not poor enough to get it. But you're showing them on paper that clearly, listen, I need this. And they're like, no, no. And a lot of people like that, they fall through the cracks of the system and the system doesn't help them. You know what I'm saying? And they get desperate enough, they go out there and do stupid shit. Me personally, I mean, wisdom comes from from the mistakes that you make. So I learned from the mistakes I made so that I could move accordingly. So I don't repeat that cycle. But not everybody is on that level. They just not. It's dark as I don't know what out here, y'all. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Yeah. Yep. You know what I'm saying? For real. Huh. I've been there and I'm 43 years old and might have to go and do that again. You know what I'm saying? Eh, the thing I like about the career that I am now, um, and the job opportunity that I have now is a big opportunity for growth. And it's something that I believe in and I'm passionate about. Do I wish the money was a little bit more? Yes, but I'm doing a lot better than I was before. And then I still do side things, side projects to, somebody needs a video made here and there. Um, even if if one of my friends who has their own business needs somebody to help work for the weekend, whatever I can do, I do. And I really, really want to get to a point where I can actually focus on what I really want to do, which is write and produce. And, I even had someone ask me yesterday, um, you know, real mamas, you thinking about maybe getting into acting, join some of the local acting guilds around here and try your hand at acting. And I want to do those things, but it's like when you have a family and you raising children on your own and you have a household, it's hard to take away time from the things that you need to do the things that you want. if that makes sense. It's a hard balance to have. Um, but I'm still passionate about it, and I still want to get to a place where I can do those things. I'm trying to position myself now to where I can have a business, where I can have, finally do the things that I want to do and become more, more financially stable. That way I can put more time into those projects and more efforts into the things that I want and need out of life. But it's hard. It's a roller coaster sometimes. And sometimes things are leveled and you think everything's gonna be okay. You think that it's smooth, and of course, the devil gotta jump in there and say, nah, she prospered. We can't have that today. Let me throw this up in her let me throw this up in her let me throw this up on the track, see if I can derail her, make her go a whole other way. And if you're not strong in mind and especially spirit, man, you're gonna divert. You're gonna go the other way. You're gonna jump the track. And it's been a couple of times I jumped the track, but let me tell you this: my ass don't jump back on. Okay, but hold on one second. Yeah, um, it's times here when the thing I liked about when I lived in Texas is that when it was a group of us, and some of us was in relationships and some of us were a majority of us was like single mothers and everything else, and we just happened to meet by chance and also by circumstance. And whatever one person needed, the other person was like, I got you. So if it was a time where one of my friends would call up even here and say, Yolanda, hey Sticks girl, or basically real mamas. Well, I don't care if y'all know my government name. I don't give a damn. But anyway, she said real mamas. You know, I don't have this, what I'm saying, and my kids, I don't have enough to stretch out to do this, that, and the other. Then I'm getting on the phone, I'm calling this home. If I don't got it, I'm getting on the phone calling this home girl. I'm taking out and seeing what I got to help. It was almost like a community. Like we help each other. If somebody couldn't pick up their child from school and they were sick, did you put me on the list? I got you. I'm going there. I got you. I don't see enough. Hey, Quiet Storm. I don't see enough people doing that for each other. Even the so-called people that call themselves your friends, y'all are not even doing it for each other. It's like only they when they want to talk about what's going on with them, their day, their life. They're not asking about how you doing, how your children doing, what you got going on. It's always about them, them, them. You know what I'm saying? They're not, if you tell them, oh, it's kind of hard right now, they're not asking you why. They're like, oh, well, it's hard for me too. And that type of person, that type of energy and that type of person, I stay far the hell away from, because they energy vampires. And on top of that, it's a one-way relationship. They take it from you. You steady giving, they take it from you, and you're not getting anything in return. Not even friendship, not even true friendship. So how can you build really a community or a circle of people who have each other's backs, who are there for each other when it comes to, hey, can you loan me $20 so I can get to work this week? Even though we know it costs more than $20, y'all seen how high gas is, y'all. Still, I don't care. I want to see the $2.99 again. Bring that shit back. But anyway, um, um, even if it's just, hey, can you pick up or watch my child because I have to work over, pick her up from school, that type of stuff. You just don't see them type of friendships, some type of people, that type of family. Your family, that's a whole other story. You know what I'm saying? You could be kin to someone by blood, but that's about it. That's as far as our relationship go. They wouldn't care if you was living or dying. So to me, blood don't really matter in the scheme of things. It's how you treat me. It's if I'm giving you my energy, if I'm there for you, if I'm loving you. And when I love somebody, I don't just love them. I love their children. You know what I'm saying? I meet their, whatever family they close to, I'll be close to too. I'm gonna know your birthdays. I'm gonna know all those things about you because that's how much I care and I love you and I value our friendship. I value our sisterhood. I value whatever we have, no matter what relationship that I have. So with that, I think for me, that's what's missing in the world. Yeah. For me, that's what's missing in the world. Um, it's just caring about each other. What happened to that? What happened to that? It's like we so desensitized to everything. Everything. I don't know about y'all, but I can't walk past somebody that I know clearly that I see that's hungry, and the first thing that's coming on my mind is, oh, they scamming today because they're out there trying to get food to eat, or they're homeless, or they collecting money, or doing whatever. That don't cross my mind. It don't, but that's just me. And I don't immediately go to, oh, they scamming, oh, they trying to take this, or they're gonna take their donations and then jump into a Mercedes Benz and drive away. Come on now. It's like if you have it to give, what's it gonna hurt? When you give to someone, you're not supposed to expect it back. I don't, especially when I know it's somebody that clearly is struggling. Why would I loan somebody $200 or $300 and then tell them, "Hey, I'm gonna need this right back"? When I know they behind on their bills, when I know they can't, they're asking me for the help out of desperation. When I know, their circumstances, it just makes no sense to me. And something happened today where someone texted me and they was like, "Do you have anything? Do you have anything? Because right now I don't have nothing." And I was around another person that saw the message coming through on my phone and they made a comment. And when they made the comment, y'all, I almost came out my seat. Okay? Because it's like this is what we not going to do. Period. This is crazy. And I don't know why people think just because you're getting the person they made the comment with, she getting this. Okay, I've gotten that too before. Sometimes people don't realize that sometimes if you do get are lucky enough to qualify for food stamps, Medicaid, any type of assistance at all, it don't cover everything, y'all. It don't stretch as far as a lot of people think it stretch. It don't. And Lord forgive if you're honest and you actually report all your income. You know what I'm saying? And you do the things that you're supposed to do. And you're working hard. It don't stretch as far as people think. And not everybody out here trying to get over. Some of us are just trying to live. We just trying to live. That's it. We're not trying to get over on anybody. We don't have no agendas. None of that. We're trying to live. We're trying to make ways for our children to live better than what we're living now. We're trying to break generational curses. It's mornings where it's people all over the world, not just me, not just my family, my friends. And that's another thing. I take into account everyone and what they're going through, their feelings and emotions. I always look deeper than what's on the surface. I don't just look at somebody and make an assumption about their character and who they are, because I wouldn't want nobody doing that to me. I wouldn't want no one doing that to me. And yes, I've been I've been in situations to where I've helped people, and they've hurt me, they've hindered me. But guess what? I'm not going to let that harden my heart towards somebody that might need that help. Somebody who actually deserves to have the sisterhood and friendship or whatever I decide to give them. I'm not going to harden myself that way, because that's what the devil wants. He wants you to be that way. He don't want you helping those people because he wants them to fall into chaos and despair, because he wants them to turn to him. That's what he wants. So every single time we make those judgments and put those constrictions on people, we pushing them further and further and further and further into the dark. And I don't know why people just don't see that, or don't want to see it, or don't want to take accountability for their actions or what they do to drive people to the edge and drive people to the point to where they out here shooting each other, killing each other, stealing from each other, lying to each other, manipulating each other. It's crazy. And today I was in front and center for some of it. And I've seen it across my social media timeline. I've seen it in my everyday life. I've seen it on regular TV. I'm seeing it everywhere. You know? So, I got chastised for not voting. Why? When I'm being clearly shown, and this is my first year, and I mentioned this in a previous slide, this is my first year not voting. But why? When you're showing me that my vote and my voice don't count, they don't matter by the legislation and the laws that's being put in place, that's not doing anything to help me and my family, but it's doing everything to help the upper class and those who have money and access to that type of money. And if we're not banding together, if we are turning against each other, if we are pulling each other down, how are we supposed to unite as a group in order to push the laws and legislation we need to thrive as Black people? Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. I can't be the only one who feels this way. And I had to break it down to somebody today, because I really don't get into that part. I'm really not, strongly political in that sense, but I'm a realist because I'm out here in the trenches every day. Just like Unbothered Mimi out here in the trenches every day. Just like Anthony McNeil out here in the trenches every day. And Derek and Quiet Storm and Steve's Girl and anybody else, you know what I'm saying, that I've had the pleasure to build a relationship with, that has supported my channel, have supported me. You know what I'm saying? It's I keep quiet about a lot because my nature and how I am, I take a lot in. When somebody gets robbed or steals, even if they're the person robbing, I always ask more questions. I don't just be like, "Oh my God, throw the bug at them. They did this, they did that." I'm always asking the why. I always look deeper. Like, what drove this man to do this? What drove him to pull a gun out and shoot his wife and kids? What drove him to do that? But if you God fearing, you already know what drove him to do that. But nobody's asking the questions. Everybody's just making the assumptions. And I want to know how we're going supposed to create a solution for anything if we're not being critical thinkers and breaking things apart and asking the questions that need to be asked, not the ones that everybody else think is popular to say or do. So it just, I think this is one of the days that the world just, you know what I'm saying? I kind of just had enough. I just had enough. And it's just like I do like YouTube as a platform. I do like, I like TikTok. I do. I like Instagram. I like the social media outlets. But man, yeah, I want to see more truth. I want to see more realism. I want to see people that's really gonna talk about real life topics, that's not ashamed to be transparent and show who they are, that's going to get up here and not just show the flash and the front, or basically just show where they're at, but show people the path they took to get there. You know what I'm saying? You just didn't pop up rich one day. You just didn't pop up um um knowing the Bible and the word, front and back. It was a process to that. It's a process to all of that. And for somebody who maybe is looking for that type of path to walk, I need someone who's gonna take me through it, through that process, and teach me. You know what I'm saying? Just don't just show me places to go to sign up to do stocks and bonds. Teach me how exactly you did it. Teach me exactly how you were able to write a grant. Teach me how you were able to do this effect in a video. Everybody wants everything microwave. They want it quick, fast, and in a hurry. But I know the value, like in knowledge itself. I know the value in it. So I want to know the steps. I want to know the process. I want to know what I have to do to get where you are now. Because you're not doing anyone any favors by pumping their head up and just bringing them on, basically knowing less than what they did before. And I've seen that happen with a lot of content creators across YouTube too. That's why I took my own path and taught myself what I needed to know so I could thrive, or at least build a platform that I'm proud of and that's original with original content. So, man, I have so many thoughts in my head running right now, and I probably could go on for hours, hours. I was buying for to do that. But I gotta get in here with these kids, but I don't want to take this energy in there to my babies either. When I get into this house, I'm gonna fix them their dinner. I'm gonna talk to them and ask them how their day go. I'm gonna take care of them. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if you have a channel that yeah, it's all good and dandy for you not to have any accountability or feel like you shouldn't have any accountability for the people that come into your chat, that click that subscribe button, that send you that cash app and everything else. But I'm sorry, I operate different. I care about what I tell or what I say to people because I know how much power is in the word. You know what I'm saying? I've seen how much power is in the word from when I speak it, from when I write it, and especially when I see other people speak it or speak over other people and also speak over themselves. Words have power, y'all. So I just want to thank all y'all for coming in, giving me support, and share this live out. Click the like button, and subscribe. I'm gonna try to come live more. Um, I'm starting to level out where I'm at to where I'm actually having more time to do a little bit more social media. And then, when you get a chance, if you're not subscribed to my other channel, I'll put the link under this video. It's Real Mamas, Real Problems, or Entertainment, or RMRP Entertainment. And that's basically where all my creative things are going. Basically, anything that I write with poetry, any kind of stories I write, all that stuff is going to be on that other channel. But this channel going to be about the real. It's going to be about the struggle. It's going to be about my struggle, and it's going to be about real issues, single parents, women, men, relationships, all that. That's what this is going to be about. Because I don't have time to be playing with people like that at all. I'm gonna be very transparent about my message and what I want to convey. And I want to talk about things that's actually going to help people and provide resources that's actually going to help people. I don't want to just be on this app to talk, y'all. That's not my mission. That's not what I want to do. And a lot of people talk a good game, but are you backing it up in your real life? Because I am. I stand on that 10 toes down. So I'm not going to tell anybody anything that I personally wouldn't do just because I think it sounds good or just because I think it gets a click and a view. So I'm hoping y'all ready for that that type of content because it's coming. And I hope y'all show out and I hope y'all support. So have a good night. I appreciate all of y'all. Hey, cash flow junkies. And like I said, real mama, she gonna be back, but it's gonna be with a vengeance. Bye, y'all.